Hey everybody, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute, and you're listening to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, where we discuss the importance of purpose in our everyday lives. Discovering and living out your purpose keeps you focused on God's purpose. That is sharing the good news of salvation with others. This podcast is for people like me, still searching for the answers to who am I and why am I here? You and I were designed and created by God for purpose, and we have much to do. You can listen and subscribe to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, with Brenda Devine on Anchor and all other podcast platforms. Hey, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. Hey, I just want to thank you for joining me yet again for another episode of Living a Life of Purpose. So we're going to keep on with this conversation about purpose. And I have a crazy topic today. The topic is, it's really hard to be humble with people who get on your nerves or you don't like. It just seems to be where I am these days. And I know I'm being tested when you are engaged in your purpose. And I am engaged in purpose, my ministry, writing, posting, my development project. It's all about purpose. That is my platform for my life, is purpose. So when you are in your purpose, you will constantly be challenged and tested. And probably about 2 weeks ago, I asked, in my prayers, I asked God to bring those things to the surface that were bothering me, those things, those secrets that I hadn't really brought to the surface, some lingering issues. And I asked God to bring those to the surface so that I could deal with them now, because I know that He's preparing me. I know I'm in the season of being prepared and walking into a new season. And I asked Him to bring those things to the surface so that I can acknowledge them and ask Him for healing. So it seems like quite a few things have been popping up, and I'm in an environment where I have to answer to someone who they're probably a really nice person in some capacity with someone, but they vex the heck out of me. They do. They vex me seriously. And I have been studying about humility for months, and studying humility has been such a blessing. It has given me perspectives that I would not have considered. It has given me the ability to stop and pause and rethink things and think about my response and think about coming at someone as a human versus an obstacle, talking to someone, understanding someone's perspective, being quiet when I really want to say something else. But the issue is that I have to be careful of my responses, because my responses is an indication of my faith and my character. And I can't be the old Brenda. I have to be the new Brenda. even as I'm being tested, even as I'm being vexed, even when I'm in the presence of people I'd rather not be in the presence of. I was reading this article about humility and how we get consumed with our reputation, and that we have, in humility, we have neither a good reputation or a bad reputation. We only have the reputation that God gives us. And at first, I didn't get that. And then as I continued to read, I realized that when I am in a situation that I need to focus on and bring with me God's glory, remember God's glory, and how I feel in that relationship, how I feel in His presence, that I am but nothing. I am no one, because He is the Lord and Savior and Creator of all. And when I am in the position of being a servant and having to be obedient and to others and being humble to others, I have to remember that my place in this world, it doesn't mean that I allow anyone to talk crazy. Now, that's not what it's saying, but what it's saying is that I am not to bring my reputation into the room, into the conversation, meaning I'm not to bring who I think I am, what I've done, who I think I am on some level, some label, some position, some job. I'm not to bring that with me. I am to have no reputation, and I am to humble myself as I go about being vexed. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's been a struggle. I win some days and I lose some days. But I am determined that I don't want to just say, I can't do this. It is possible to go through challenges and struggles and issues with people and still be humble. I know that it is. It has not been my makeup or my temperament, but it is not that I'm supposed to rely on myself and my abilities. I am to rely on God to help me through those moments. So, what I also realized about the conversation about reputation is, it's just so subtle, the idea of, and we think that, we've been around, everyone knows us. We take some pride in having a certain reputation, whether good or bad. I know that in my own life, before I knew about purpose, my reputation wasn't always that great. I'm sure of it. And sometimes I took pleasure in that. And I also, now that I'm in purpose, I feel good about myself. I feel good about purpose. I feel good about my life. But I still have no reputation. I can't give myself that reputation. I can't claim it. The only reputation, the only judge, the only person who I shouldn't say person, only God can say whether it's good or bad, or what He wants to call my reputation or name it or frame it, or only He has that ability. And being humble means that I have to realize that I can't walk into a room already assuming that that me is walking in the room instead of the humble the humble Brenda that should walk into a room or a conversation. But I should enter into relationships, conversations, meetings, introductions with a humble mindset, not of who I think I am, not of who I think others think I am, but to just come in remembering that God is in control, that I am in awe of him, and that I worship him, and he is my creator. And I know that that's how I should be, but I'm just going to be honest that I struggle with it. I do. That vexing, it just throws me off. It throws me off, and then I have to recenter myself. I have to, because the other thing is that I always have to keep in mind is that I know my purpose. I know I have a glimpse of what God wants me to do, and I can't put that down for anybody. So I may be struggling or challenged with an issue. I may not care for someone or like them, or they get on my nerves, for real. But I am still supposed to be that person, that authentic person. I'm supposed to be what God has called me to be. I am supposed to be about his business. And every day is not going to be perfect. Some days are going to be better than others, but some days I'm just not going to hit the mark. And then that's where God's grace and forgiveness comes in. And he gives me the ability to start all over. To start all over and try it again. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep studying. I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to keep being obedient. I'm going to keep allowing myself to be in places, in the company of challenging situations, and learn from them, and learn that I can't always have my way. I'm not the standard. I'm not in charge of anything. I am just a speck. My life is but a speck in a realm of time. I am here to serve. I am here to help. I am here to live. I am here to give. I am here to be a servant and to be obedient to God and his purpose. And I just have to keep going with that. And I realized earlier this year that when I'm confused, and when I'm not certain, and when I'm in this, I feel like I'm up against the wall with challenges or struggles, or I'm frustrated, that I just need to stay close to God and walk. I learned that earlier this year, and when I can't come up with anything else, I just need to get closer to God and just walk. Don't overthink it. Just walk, and that it will all work out for my good. It will work out for his purpose. It will prepare me for the next thing that he wants me to do and to learn. And I will take what I've learned and take it to the next challenge and struggle, and be prepared. So this message is for you, and it seems to be for me too, as we go about this life of purpose. It's not always pretty. It has so much joy, but there's challenges as we align our wills to God, as we submit ourselves, as we learn about ourselves, as we learn how we need to be closer to God. Every time we think we are close enough, we are not close enough. We can get even closer. We need to be even closer. So I'm going to leave that with you. and I'm going to marinate on it some more myself. And I thank you once again for taking this time with me. And this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. And I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, on Anchor and all other major podcast platforms. To learn more about Purpose 8 Institute and our ministry of sharing the importance of purpose, please visit our website, www.purpose8institute.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. If you would like to learn more about purpose beyond this podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, you can also purchase one of my books that are available on my website, purpose8institute.com, and also on Amazon.